Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Tom, and thank you so much for joining me here today. I must apologize. The last few days I've been kind of ill with a stomach issue that is slowly starting to come back around, so I decided to come out here. It's a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. The moon's out, but that's about it. But I thought that you guys might want to get a look at this. So I'm here with my 2023 EUV, and what we have here is the fob to the EUV. I don't know if you guys knew, and I'm not sure if this is specific to the 2023 or if the 2022 premieres do it as well. I also don't know if the LTs have this or not, but if you unlock the car with the fob like this, and then you go and proceed and hold the unlock button for a few seconds, there you have it. Problem is you can't roll them back up, so once you do this, you're kind of committed to opening the door and going inside, turning the car on just so you can roll your windows up, because if you open it, it doesn't do anything. So you physically have to throw the remote in, put your foot on the brake, start the car, and then you can close your windows. So if you do this, make sure you're gonna do it at a time that you're going to. I also noticed that if you turn the car off without putting your foot on the brake, it flips out. So yeah, and then you can lock it. But I know this is a documented feature, but this is a feature that you might recall I haven't shared with you guys on this channel, and the reason for that is plain and simply that I'm not used to it, and I honestly forgot about it. I have all these odds and ends on my keychain that when they're in my pocket, they tend to press on the remote. So I remember the other day I was working on Kubo, and it was at night. I had this key in my pocket like this, and I sat down in this chair over here. I heard the car unlock, but I figured, oh well, I'll walk away from it, it'll lock again, only to find out that the windows rolled down. So it is a feature, and it does work. So unlock, push and hold, 3 seconds or so, and all of the windows roll down. I like to think that's a pretty cool feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you down from the tripod, and I'm going to show you guys how to enable this, because by default it's not enabled. So let's get inside. All right, we're inside the car. I just climbed in here. I'm glad I opened the windows ahead of time, because this car says it's 70 degrees outside, but it certainly feels like it's 150 in here. So I guess it has to do with the glass roof and the windshield. It's really blinding, actually. I put this shade down and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. But let's just go over some of the stats here. Unfortunately, like, my trip and averages were reset from the last trip because this car was parked for a few days. As I mentioned before, I was not feeling well, so I didn't really go anywhere. I was mostly bedridden, and I did some work from the house, and that was literally it. I was kind of under the weather. Stomach bugs are a pain. But suffice it to say, I'll turn this camera around so you guys can see what's happening there. So you can see there's 1,710 miles on the car. The trip and averages aren't accurate because it is at 0. The car is at about 80% state of charge, and we'll look at that over here in a second. But I drove it today for the first time, and I used 1.5 kilowatt hours to take my son to school, roughly about 1.8 miles. His school's about, 4,000 feet behind us. Lifetime efficiency is 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. You can see there. Forgive me for the sun adjustments. I just don't have, my hand's not in the right spot, so I apologize for that. You can see here it says it's 70 degrees at almost 5 p.m. and it just doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's close to 85, 90 degrees. Certainly much hotter in here. All of these details were reset from before. I took care of that when I knew I wasn't going to be driving anywhere. So you can see there the state of charge is about 80%. So yeah. All right, let's get to the settings. If you're on the main screen, I'm going to try to keep my hand right there. I'm going to move it every time because I have to hold the camera with one hand. So if you go find your settings in here, function, you will find your vehicle, and you go to vehicle. You'll see remote lock, unlock, and start. Tap that, and the last remote function that's here before you get to the passive door locks is the remote window operation. You're going to want that slider on so that you enable the functionality of the windows going down by holding the unlock button. That's it. So remote lock, unlock, and then the last remote function before you get to the passive section. Actually, there's a remote left in vehicle alert, which I don't use because it's typically in my pocket anyway. But make sure that's enabled, and that function will sort of work for you. And by sort of, I mean it will work. So again, like I mentioned before, I am not certain which models support this. I assume the 2022 and the 2023 EUVs do, but I believe it's the Premier trim that has it. I don't think the LT has this functionality, but I might be wrong. If you guys have one of those models, let me know if you have this functionality. It's a really neat functionality that it doesn't even seem to be documented. It's definitely not on the window sticker, so it's one of those features that's just kind of built into the model. It's not something you can remove. I mean, I guess you can remove it by opting for a lesser model, but yeah, I think that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. It was actually an accident that I came across it, and it was a neat accident. And I'll tell you what, today was one of those days. I wish I could open the sunroof too from the remote, but that's just one of those things that I will never get sick of. Actually, one of the things that I really like that GM, kind of came up with is this little screen here. It still lets air through, but I guess it traps, all the stuff you don't want coming into your car. Like you can see there's a little bug trap right there. And I think it's a nice detail. Some cars have a plastic shade that comes up that prevents like a hurricane from coming into the car, which is kind of nice, but I actually like this screen very, very much. Haven't really used the power roof much, but now that it's getting warm and it's more appropriate to use, the sunroof, whatnot, it's kind of nice. Actually, I will tell you that because of heat, my kiddo and I were in a parking lot. We were waiting for my wife to come out. We actually had to close it because it was cooking. The sun was right above us and it was cooking us really good. This is really nice material too. Works out really well. I like it. I typically leave that open though, just because I like the space above my head too. If I'm sitting up straight, I'm really close to the roof as it is, and if that shade's closed, that takes away probably 1.5 inches of headroom, just from the word go. But other than that, it's a really, really, really great feature. So yeah, power windows from the remote. If you have any questions, go down below, leave me your thoughts. I'll answer them as best as I can. If you guys have an LT model or a 2022 EUV, go ahead and check this out for me and let me know in the comments if your car has this functionality with the remote. Again, if your car is all closed up, buttoned up, and locked, you hit the unlock, and then once it's unlocked, you press it again and you hold it for, I think it's about 3 seconds, and then all 4 windows should start to roll down. If you have it enabled in the infotainment system. If you don't have it enabled, then it'll be like that feature's not there. So make sure you go in here first, check your settings under the remote lock. Here, we'll show you again. So if you're here, find your settings and go under remote lock, unlock, and start, and then scroll down to the remote window operation and make sure that this little doohickey is on, and that should get you to where you need to be. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining me on this semi-short video. I'm still not 100%, but I'm starting to get there. We do have a surprise that's actually going to start tomorrow for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll give you a hint. It involves us leaving the house, if that means anything. So anyway, you guys go down below, leave me your thoughts. Until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of the week ahead. Bye-bye.